Welcome everybody to PinstripeChronicles. I am Tats. I am here with Rob and Donald, and today we have Sarah joining us. And it was a very strange weekend for the East Coast for all the baseball teams, more specifically the Yankees themselves, having the off day, then the rain days, the doubleheader yesterday, and I think they have an off day again today. And it leads me to question: when's the off day? Tomorrow?
Yeah, they played today.
They played today.
Yeah.
God damn it, Tats.
So I knew there was an off day right after the Texas series. So it leads to question, after having that win streak and having it snap before the storms hit, did that kind of slow the momentum down on the Yankees, or this is just, it was just one of those weekends that it's just not going to be that much of a factor in this week coming forward?
I think the worst thing was having 3 days off, because they lost that last game against Toronto. But as Donald pointed out, it kind of felt like we won because of the way Toronto was acting by taking one game. So the momentum was on our side, and then having 3 straight days, 2 straight rainouts. I mean, we took the first game of the doubleheader now, and when we were up 2-0, I'm like, we're going to sweep this damn thing. So I'm like, they're just fine. And then we ended up losing the second one, but I don't think losing that streak did anything to him. I think it was more so you had the day off, and then you have to have 2 more days off after that. They're like mentally preparing to play a lot of games in a row. Then you have 3 days off. Now we got to play like 23 games in 22 days because of the rainouts. So it's just kind of jumbling up a bunch of games in the same amount of days. It was probably the rainouts that because their offense does not look like they were hitting anything yesterday except for Stanton. So
yeah, that's true.
Let me get moving here on Chris Woodward. What a salty,
dude!
salty
I have that right here in my notes. Chris Woodward.
Yeah, well.
How
many home runs? How many home runs he has in his career? He has 33 home runs in his entire career. How many home runs has Gleybor Torres hit in 2019? 38. You go shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. All right. And also, that home run was out in 26 out of 30 ballparks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You call Yankee Stadium a little league ballpark again. You go to the Bronx and say that, huh? See how far you get.
Won't.
Let's be perfectly honest here. Yeah. He's managing an irrelevant franchise. What did they finish last year? 60 and 102. They've been last place for about 5 years. They went bankrupt in 2010. The only thing the Rangers are known for is A-Rod used them as a cash cow for a while, and then he became relevant when he went to New York and actually won when he went to New York, and he only views himself as a Yankee. He forgets about his time as a Ranger. So that says it all. The only thing that they're known for is George Bush managed them, owned them for a while. They went bankrupt for a while. What else? Rafael Palmeiro. Who else? Nolan Ryan pitched for them when he was 42, going on 186. So that is the only thing the Texas Rangers are known for. What is Chris Woodward known for? 33 home runs in 12 years, and a 230 batting average in his entire career as a backup. He is irrelevant. What's his managerial record? 414. So he is absolutely useless as a manager as well as a player. He should be paying to go to Yankee Stadium, not rip it. He's lucky to even be in the gates of Yankee Stadium without having to pay a concession fee. So you shut your frickin' mouth, you absolute prick. And never disrespect the Yankees again. Never disrespect the Yankees again. 27 world championships. We've got as many world championships as you have your home runs in your entire career. You're useless. Fuck.
Sorry,
I love it. Oh my God.
True. I'm really getting, Donald, you hit it on the head, because I'm really sick of this narrative about these Yankee Stadium home runs, because the playing in the same dimensions. It's not like dimensions when the Yankees are in play. Okay. And a lot of these home runs are home runs in other stadiums. If you look, I think it was a couple years ago, there was a graphic that showed the overlay of all the home run walls in all the stadiums, and the Yankees were right there in the middle of it. So just because the ball carries different in different parks doesn't mean that it's a Little League ballpark. Okay. I'm really psyched. Is anybody else here tired of that narrative of this Little League home run BS?
Me.
Go ahead.
The Rangers weren't hitting it out of the park.
Honestly, because I understand the narrative of how the Yankees play is everyone thinks that the Yankees just hit home runs. We saw that. This is why we haven't reached a World Series in 10 plus years, because we're always trying to shoot for the moon every time. But why is it that you have to make this narrative? Oh, but Gleybor's a Little League ball player. Oh, Yankee Stadium's a Little League ballpark. Really, idiots? Just really? This always keeps coming up. And it's not just the managers. It's the organizations, too, that back up these managers, thinking there's some high-ho and mighty people. When, you just got hired how many years ago to be this irrelevant franchise manager? Come on. Grow up, people. Like, this is ridiculous. Talk about baseball, not the park.
It's just like this is what Twitter has done. That's literally a Twitter argument that you see.
Exactly.
Little League ballpark that's what Twitter has turned into. Under every post about a Yankee Stadium home run, it just doesn't count. Little League ballpark, all this nonsense. But Yankee Stadium's had the same dimension since like the 70s when they remodeled the park. So it's been this way for years. It's been this way for a very long time. People are still complaining about it. Boston fans talk about it when they got that disgusting thing out in right field. They got a freaking pesky pole out there. It's like a 280-foot home run if you hit it down the right field line. They don't care about that. They got that massive dump of a wall in left field, but they don't care about that. It takes away how many home runs because of that stupid thing. But the Yankee Stadium's the problem. Are the dimensions ideal? Who cares? Every stadium's different. You're going to hit some cheap ones, but the thing yesterday is that Aaron Boone shut him up because he said after the second game, he's like, well, his math is wrong because, it can't be 99% because there's 30 teams. So Aaron Boone, another W in what's been a rare season of W's for Aaron Boone. He keep the hits coming, Boone, as far as I'm concerned. You're winning me over. But yeah, and then the Rangers in the second game, their home run that made it, I think, 2-1 at the time when they tied the game, that was the exact same home run as Gleybor hit. So you're going to say, Woodward, take it back because it's a Little League home run. Don't give us the runs. We don't want them. So this is why I can't stand it. If you're gonna play in the same stadium as us when you play the Yankees, stop complaining. Only when it happens to you, it's a problem. But he had no problem when his team hit that home run. I bet he was in the dugout just seething mad. How dare we hit that home run to tie the game? How dare we take the lead on a Little League home run?
Yeah, what an idiot. He's going to go to the record books and go, take that one away. That was a Little League home run. No, he's going to take the home run every damn day.
What's dumb about the argument is the dimensions don't exist when the Yankees bat. It's not like we move the freaking right field wall closer when you go to bat. I mean, it's the dumbest argument. They have just as much opportunity to hit it down this Little League park than we do. If you can't do it, that's on you, not us.
That's exactly it. And mind you, let's sign Corey Seager and Marcus Semien in the offseason. What has Marcus Semien done? Absolutely fucking nothing. What is he batting? Come on, really? And you're complaining about how many homers the guy can hit in a Little League ballpark.
Texas ballpark isn't even that freaking big either.
It's ridiculous. What did they renovate their stadium? Now it's called Globe Life Park. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. It looks like the same size as freaking Rogers Center in Toronto. It's ridiculous.
Each stadium does play different. You're going to get cheap home runs everywhere that just squeak past the wall. It's just what it is. But it's just they use this against Yankee Stadium every time. But it's like I just said, the same dimensions since they renovated the stadium way back in the day. So if we're complaining about this in 2020, how they're not going to move the walls back. Because we've already seen that's causing a problem in Baltimore. They changed the wall for whatever reason. They got that weird little divot in Baltimore now. Like that. The Mets, when the Mets built Citi Field, how many times they had to move the walls in because they couldn't hit home runs? So
they had to do it because nobody could hit a damn home run there.
Exactly. So exactly. Teams are going to hit home runs in Yankee Stadium. It's a hitter's park. It's been that way for a long time. Get over it, Chris Woodward. You're literally sounding like a 12-year-old Twitter user right now, and I'm glad that we beat him on that home run. I really wish we could have swept them in that doubleheader, and the fact that his team came back using a Little League home run is actually comedy to me. Take it away then. Take it away. If you don't want it, give the runs back, and we'll take the win, and we'll see how you feel about that at that point, you moron.
Another thing that's dumb about the argument is it's baseball. There's times where you get a single for a little dribbler that barely goes past home plate, but you absolutely crush a shot 420 feet and it's caught at the wall and you get nothing for it. So
we've seen that
that's
how
just
many
baseball,
times,
man.
Yeah.
You hit a home run 314 feet and then you get a fly out with much better contact 420 feet. That's just the way it is, man. You have to live with it.
It's ridiculous.
You have to live with it. That's just what baseball is.
Even this season, how many times have the Yankees gotten it out on a bullet line drive, and then like the next inning they'll get an RBI on a bloop, in between, third base and left field. It's that's why you play the game. That's just the way it's played. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no way to control where the ball goes once it's hit. If it carries, it carries. If it dies out on the track, it dies out on the track. You don't hear us screaming because, that home run didn't count because it only went 349 feet. No. If it goes over the wall, it's a damn home run.
Look at Florial yesterday. Florial's fly out would have been a home run in like 25 yards. And it was an out here. Stanton's home run. I mean, I'm glad the Yankee social media team is just on fire this year. They, with their tweet, this would have been a home run in 30 of 30 ballparks. Stanton absolutely tanked that one. And I really wish we could have shut them out. And that being the only run of that second game, because then Woodward would have been even more mad. And they would have had to ask him about that in the second game. But it is what it is. This is the stadium we play in. And when we we don't go to Arlington this year unless they have the makeup games announced. Are we making those games up? Because we were supposed to play.
Those makeup games are in September in Arlington.
In Arlington.
We'll see when Aaron Judge hits one 450 feet.
He would.
Let's see if Woodward complain about that. It's so annoying because so many of these home runs hit by our big power bats are gone in 30 of 30 ballparks. We see those scrapers that just clear the 314 sign, but just look it up. If you're going to use that Twitter page to find out where it was as a home run, because clearly he's looking on Twitter to find out his information, he could have seen that 26 of 30 ballparks, that's a home run. So Chris Woodward, you're a moron.
He is a moron. And honestly speaking, I'm like, when did you become Kevin Cash? Why do we have to have another manager that's a fucking problem? I don't understand. What is he, the fourth manager in 6 years we've had an issue with? I believe it is, because every single time there's one manager that's got to run his mouth when they come play here. It's ridiculous.
It's usually the ones that we give the most problem to. The ones we play well against, with the exception of Cash, because Cash just outplays us all. He outmanages. It's hard to put Kevin Cash in this discussion, but a lot of managers and they complain when they lose the series, not when they win it. If they would have won the series, if Texas would have won both games on cheap home runs, then all's well in baseball world. But because it was a Yankee, now there's a problem.
Right.
So take your narrative and shove it. Because nobody wants to hear it, especially us.
Exactly.
But the other thing that really stood out, again, was it always seems that even when the pitchers don't have their best stuff, they have been able, under the guidance of Blake and Harkey, that they just continue to just keep this team in games and give the offense chances, whether the offense is able to capitalize or not. We've talked about it at length. Sarah, I want to get your opinion on what your take overall is of the pitching staff to this point in the season.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I've seen some good pitching staffs over the years, even when the Yankees were tanking in half the season. But I'm just a Michael King. Okay, you have one bad outing. Of course, Yankee Twitter is going to crap on you because you hit or you got a home run off of you or 2 or 3. But at the end of the day, it's your overall earned runs, whatever it is. And I don't understand why everyone is just taking a shit on them. They're actually doing really well. The starters are consistent when they need to be. If you need to add a minor league guy, you can, because I heard Boone was going to do that. considering that some of these starters do need days off. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm shocked.
They're great. I mean, all 5 of the starters are pitching really well. Cole was fantastic yesterday, and he didn't even have his best stuff at first. He was throwing a lot of pitches, and then like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, he just had a low pitch count. Got him. I don't know why he came back out for that last inning. I thought he did his job. Ended up winning the game anyway, but that one run on his stat line just looks bad because he pitched well enough to deserve, to have that shutout. And once again, Montgomery, we just can't score for the guy. I mean, we got the 2-run lead, and we just can't get more. It's like once we get 2, that's his limit. We're not going to score more than 2 runs for the guy.
It almost seems that way every damn time.
It's sad because the guy, he's a freaking starter. He deserves just as much as freaking Tyone and Cole together. I don't understand. What does he have, like this bubble around him? Nobody wants to hit a home run. Nobody wants to score runs. I don't get it. I really don't.
Let's debate that decision. Putting Cole out there an extra inning. What are we thinking?
I think with the doubleheader and the fact that it's Cole's, Cole, they gave him the inning based on the A status. And I think because of you don't know, you can't foresee what's going to happen in game 2. Mm-hmm. So you have to at least bide your bullpen an extra inning because you might need that for the second game. So I don't have an issue with, Cole being pushed out for that extra inning that they put him in. I think that was the thought process throughout the whole game. If we can get an extra inning out of the starters and give the bullpen an inning off, we're going to seize it.
Mm.
Yeah. Sarah or Rob?
Honestly, I do agree with Bobby. Cole pushes himself. I don't think anybody else can push him. I didn't really have a problem with it going out an extra inning, but I mean, the home run, he knew it costed him. He knew it was going to change somewhat in his stat system. But at the end of the day, you can't really worry about him too much. See, if that was somebody else, I would have been like, why'd you put him in there? You should have kept him out. Now look at this, like Chad Green of all freaking people. Let's give up a home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. But with Cole, if you were to pitch him a whole game, which we never will, it won't matter because his numbers basically say who he is.
Rob?
I didn't think he needed to come back out. His pitch count was over 100 already. We just had 3 days off. The bullpen should have been rested enough to give you 2 innings or 3 innings in that game and then be able to give you another 3 or 4 in the second game. So I didn't think he needed to come back out there, but I do get why, because if there's one guy on this staff you're going to let over pitch a certain pitch number, it'd be Garrett Cole because he's the ace. He's getting paid for it. But it tells me Boone, he's definitely is managing different because May last year, there's no shot Garrett Cole starts the 7th inning with the pitch count over 100. So they are taking this thing seriously. And it does suck that he had to leave the game with that run on his line score, but it's kind of like a mixed bag for me because I don't think he should come back out. But then I'm like, hey, hats off to Boone and to Cole because he's probably like, no, let me go back out there. And Boone said, okay, go do it. So, I mean, it definitely keeps giving me those vibes that this is a different team this year. And I like that. And even though we didn't win the second game, I like that they're taking things seriously because even yesterday, I felt like we were going to have a chance to come back and win that game down 4-2. Last year, once the Rangers took the lead, I'm like, it's over. This year, I felt different. Even though we didn't come back, things feel different. And Boone letting Cole go back out for that 7th inning gives me tells me that it's different because that does not happen last year.
I'm in total agreement with Rob. But it's like I was surprised. I'm very much an old school get off my lawn type. I want my starters to go as long as possible. But in this instance, I was genuinely surprised because he pitched 100 pitches and it's still fairly early in the year. We kind of got the lead for him. I don't think it was really necessary to push him that extra inning, but also I didn't have a problem with it either because it shows that, as Rob says, the Boone is managing different. he's now managing with the feel of the game, and he's now trusting his pitcher more. He's trusting his ace, and if you can't trust your ace, you can't trust anyone. And Garrett Cole's a gamer. He wanted to go that extra inning, and I think that he did the right thing by deferring to Garrett Cole. If Garrett Cole felt he can push it for another inning, then fine. It would have worked out had he just not left one pitch in his entire game just slightly over the plate, and that was it. And you saw how upset Garrett Cole was. I don't think that was on Aaron Boone at all. It still would have been better had you just not taken that extra risk. I don't think it was necessary. However, I didn't have a problem with it. I don't want to Monday morning quarterback it, because in many scenarios, it's probably damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you had taken Garrett Cole out and Loiza gave up a home run in his first batter, then people will be like, "Oh, why did you take out Garrett Cole? Analytics, blah 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 blah." So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. He went with his ace. You went with your gut, and I'm always gonna trust my manager who rides with his gut, because that means that he's using his noggin, and that's a good sign for me. And,
it's almost
as
like
Rob says, it's trending. The things that I'm seeing is trending good. It's trending well. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the manager. He's managing just without necessarily the stats. He's actually managing with a little bit of heart and instinct. Exactly, a good term. And I think the locker room just seems like it's a tighter locker room, and I feel pretty good.
It's almost like this mentality of I'm going to trust you until you force me not to.
Yes.
And the way that these players have been playing, they've earned that. Just give me one more batter, or my next at bat, I'm locked in. Don't pinch hit me yet. I just think, and it's such a team atmosphere. Even a small situation, that we've been seeing late in games with if Stanton gets on pinch running with Locastro, it's almost like Stanton gets on base, he's not even looking anymore. He gets on base, he high fives the first base coach, he goes to the dugout. So they've all bought into how this team is being managed, and I think that's giving Boone reason to have their back. And if Cole's in the dugout saying, "Look, I still have a little gas, I still have something left in the tank. Let me empty it." If you feel like when you feel you need to pull me, come out and get me, no problem. And that almost seems like that's been the body language also, is you don't see the pitchers that are getting pulled out looking defeated. They're like, all right, I went as far as I could. I trust the guys behind me to finish off the game. And that's given the bullpen confidence that when they come in for a starter, the starter's, not going to be like, you're going to ruin my game now. So it's just this is a very team-oriented team this year. And we haven't seen that in a while. And I think Boone is the focal point of that.
Yeah, which is crazy because, a few months ago before.
Yeah, whoever thought that any of us would be saying that.
No, look,
honestly.
Yeah. That's what we do here. If we get proven wrong, we're going to give credit where it's due. And Aaron Boone, I said it the other day, he's pretty much managed flawlessly. He's had a couple of hiccups here and there because it's how it goes. But for the fact that we're in the record that we have, we're on pace to win 114 games. I know that's not going to happen, but we're on pace to have a really, really good year. And he is the starting point. I know a lot of guys, obviously the players do most of the work, but his decision-making has been quick. He's been on point. He's not second guessing himself. He's making a move and he's sticking with it. He's got his players' backs. He's always had his players' backs, but he's extra now. It's like he's going that extra step, and he's actually speaking from his mind now. He's not letting the guys upstairs feed him the words into the robotic brain. He's becoming more human. Pinocchio is becoming a real boy. So now
I'm a real boy.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Drop the mic.
I'll leave it at that. But I do want to tip my cap to the skipper because he's given me a reason to be happy with the guy we have right now in the dugout, and I'm very very glad that he's proving me wrong to this point. I know a lot can change, but I'm going to tip the cap to the skipper because he's doing a great job.
Sarah, what's been your take on how Boone's been managing this year? Are you in agreement with us that he's just been different? What do you think is the reason for that?
Since we've gone on this freaking win streak, I was like, I don't know, because I'm watching the game and there's a couple moves that I'm like, should he make this move? Should he not make this move? And then he's going out, obviously, to change the pitcher. But the way he's going about it, he's not hesitant. Like, when he steps out of the dugout and he's like, oh, should I take him out? Should I go back in? But I think you're trusting your players more, and it puts more trust on you. Because if your players stop trusting you, then it breaks the whole bond of the team. So I think he's trusting himself and he's putting more trust in his players so they could back him up. Like the way he backed up Judge because of Judge's strike zone. That pissed me off. The fact that they keep calling that shit on him. And of course, Boone would go out and say something, but I didn't think he would go out like that. Because we haven't seen that Boone in 2-3 years. So honestly, I'm actually very surprised, but at the same time, I'm happy about it because we need to see this the rest of the season in order for us to make a full change on him.
Another sign this is a new Boone is he's obviously on his weekly spot on the K show when Michael K asked about his performance when he went after the umpire, and he said it's not a performance, and he's like, well, how do you feel about what you said to the umpire? He's like, I wish I said more. Boom, Aaron, boom.
Boom.
I like it.
There you go.
I like it. I mean, it's like because last year he would have been like, oh, I got bullied by the umpire, or I kind of regret some of the things I said. No, this is a new man right here. He's kind of like put his team's back, and he's just he seems a little bit more confident in his skin. He seems to have taken the training wheels off, and he's just managing a good game. So I'm really happy with what I'm seeing, and this is a huge turnaround for me personally because I thought he did a horrible job last year. But as horrible a job as he's did last year, I can be honest and say he's doing as good a job this year. But it is very early. But so far, I'm not seeing anything that concerns me at all in the way Aaron Wood's managing. In fact, I think he's managing very, very, very well. What is that bobblehead, Sarah? Who's got the
It's Garrett Cole. Sorry, I'm trying. There he is.
Oh, shoot.
Hi, guys.
The Top Gun one, right?
Top Gun?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Top Gun one.
Hey,
damn. I was like, who's that cool guy with the shades?
Yeah, no, because I'm trying to get it because the camera in the background is scratchy. So I was like, I gotta get Cole in here.
Where did you get that? Garrett Cole bobblehead day?
Last year when they had his Top Gun bobblehead day. Of course, I fought a couple people for it because this one woman tried to knock me over. And I was like, excuse me, that's mine.
It's mine. You're a big Garrett Cole stan, right?
Yes.
Now we're starting riots.
Jersey Fire came out.
I wouldn't mess with Sarah. Wouldn't mess Sarah with Garrett Cole.
The woman, she was testing me too because the security guard was like handing it out to each person. And this woman wanted to cut in front of me and try to take the bobblehead. I said, nope, that's mine. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
There we go.
So Cole's going to have an opinion.
Well, I've got a very positive opinion on Cole. He's been awesome.
Yes.
Well, we're actually going to be able to break down something that we normally don't get to this early in the morning because of the day game. We actually have the lineup out. And there's a bad habit in history of the Yankees waiting until we're done recording the shows to put the lineups out. So being that we actually have it, I thought we'd have some fun breaking it down. Leading off, finally, back where he belongs is LeMahieu.
Judge in center field.
LeMahieu's playing third base. All right.
Okay. I like it.
Judge is in center.
I like it.
At first. Stanton's in right.
Beautiful.
Donaldson's DH. Torres at second. Gallo at left. Falefa at shortstop, and Trevino's catching.
God, I love this lineup.
This is perfection. And another tip of the cap to Boone. He's really been doing very well with, moving players around in lineup and the positions, but putting out a prime lineup, where he's been very good with making sure that players get rest when they need it or get play time when they need it. I think having Donaldson as a DH, giving Hicks a day off, maybe he'll learn how to hit with runners in scoring position because that's been a big problem. But this, I think, is a winning. This is a very, very good lineup.
This is the strongest constitution of the lineup. This is my favorite lineup. Like
I'm going to screenshot this lineup.
Yeah, for me, there's not even a question.
I'll be like, if the lineup doesn't look like this, it's a problem.
Yeah, the only thing that I would, the only amendment I would have of that would maybe have Donaldson third and LeMahieu play second and Torres DH. But the actual 1 through 9, that is how it should be every day moving forward, in my opinion. Trevino is a better catcher than Higashioka. Trevino's defense is absolutely otherworldly, and it's making up for the fact he doesn't really have a bat right now. It doesn't really matter necessarily when your catching is that good, and when your pitch framing is like in the 99th percentile or 100%. It's like he's crazy good. He's like one of the best pitch framers in the entire game. So I'm glad that we're not kind of messing around. We kind of looks like we've kind of settled on Trevino now as the catcher moving forward. That's good. And you know what? Another shout out, Gleybor Torres, man. He's been getting a hard time from the fan base who hasn't really quite forgiven him from last year. But credit to him, man. This is a different Torres this year. He's
on a road to redemption.
Daddy Torres.
Hitting the ball well. And his defense is a little better. He's obviously not playing short, which is great. But offensively, I'm seeing some good things. He's hitting the ball hard, man. Even in the second game, he crushed the pitch that would have been a home run in a lot of parks as well. So take that, Woodward. It's just I'm happy for Torres. Big shout out to Torres. Rob, what do you think about Torres, man?
Look, I've been defending him not as much as I defended my boy Gary, but I defended Torres for a while, and I'm very happy that to see him doing this, because what's been the difference in his 2 walk-off hits? He's going the other way. He's not pulling it. He's not going pull happy. The home run, the little league home run, Woodward, was an opposite field homer. His walk-off against Cleveland, opposite field. So that's what I want to see. He's elevating the ball because launch angle matters, and he's going the other way, and he's doing a lot of good things. The batting average keeps going up. His defense at second has actually been really good. It's probably the best we've seen him in a very long time, and he just looks confident. He's having fun. He hit the gritty, walking a home plate. Even Michael K pointed out, I didn't know Michael K even knew what the heck that was. Michael K is getting in with the dance moves now. It's everything's different. Everything just feels like they're having fun, even though they couldn't sweep it yesterday. It's like, this is just different right now. They're enjoying themselves, and Gleybor Torres is kind of a prime example of that, because he's playing well. The confidence is up, and you can see it with him on the field. And going to the lineup, I want to pat myself on the back, because I said before the Detroit series, Aaron Boone needs to come up with a base lineup, and that's what he needs to stick with the rest of the way. Ever since then, the top of that lineup hasn't really changed. It's been very consistent. Everything is kind of staying the same, and he's making a few adjustments here and there. So, and it's worked, because we've won a lot of games since he's done that. So I want to give myself a little pat on the back and give Aaron another tip of the cap to the skipper. He's getting a lot today. Jesus Christ, what's happening to us?
What is going on with Aaron? Boom. Jesus.
It's absolutely right. And the one thing I wanted to close out with is
that Aaron Hicks can hit if he. The only thing I want to close out with is Aaron Hicks can hit if it fell out of a boat. He is an absolute abomination of a ball player. I absolutely can't stand him. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. What a mess. What a mess.
I'm so glad he drew a walk yesterday. When he came up, I was like, of course, it's him.
And I
always,
think I responded to that.
Always.
It's always Karma's a bitch when it comes to him.
But no, on the upper deck yesterday, Chris and Lynn brought up the discussion about the game access. That's been a problem throughout with the Yankees and throughout baseball. And I just want to give a big L to Major League Baseball, who made all the games free on the MLB app, but still had all the restrictions. So if you didn't pay extra for Amazon, you still could not watch the Yankee game through MLB, even though it was a free game. And MLB needs to do much better than that. Because there was no TV access except unless you had Prime.
It's the same for me.
In the tri-state area.
Yeah.
That's a mess, man. Absolutely.
And
it's ridiculous.
even if you have Amazon Prime, you still have to pay for Amazon Prime Video. So that's an extra subscription on a subscription. So Major League Baseball really, if they're going to be working with these apps, which is fine, you want to expand the brand, go for it. Bring a new audience. We're all for it. But do it where you still have accessibility to people that don't have access to it. You need to have an alternate.
Yeah.
They have an alternate. They have their own freaking app, and they don't even put their own games on it.
Well, that's exactly. But you can only have the app if you pay for Yes Network through your cable provider.
It's
not everybody has cable anymore.
Disgrace.
How many people are paying $200 a month for cable just for Yes Network?
But this is the thing with
that's a very high percentage.
This is the thing with Yes, is the fact that you're watching it on your phone and you're watching it at the TV. The TV is faster than the phone. You're so behind on the phone. Yeah. I'm like, wait, because it's like if Stanton hits a home run, okay, on the TV, Stanton already hit the home run. You're watching the home run on the phone. Half the game is already over because the phone is slow. That's what I don't understand.
It's a very bad delay on the phone.
It's just terrible. It's
the app itself, rather, has a very bad delay.
No, the main issue is like MLB TV is the perfect thing for baseball to have because you charge a certain amount. T-Mobile gets it. That's why I'm glad I have T-Mobile. They get it free every year. But every game should be available on your app. You're charging people that don't have the luxury of having it for free $120 for the year. Every single game for the entire season should be available. There's no need for Amazon Prime.
A percentage of that subscription should be going to the teams to award access.
It's just put the games on your app. You can have other apps, this way you could, like you said, bring in a new audience because certain people that might have Amazon Video might not have MLB TV. It's like, oh, I can watch baseball. I don't really watch baseball.
But Apple Plus is the other one that,
I hate Apple TV Plus. They're terrible. They're so awful. Bad.
There's too many apps with limited access.
It's actually worse than Amazon because out of market, if you don't have Apple, you can't watch it. I don't have Apple. I couldn't watch the game. It was very rare. I've never missed a Yankee game in years until that Apple game came on.
Exactly. It was terrible, Donald. You didn't miss
I'm pretty pissed off about it, man. I mean, I know I didn't miss anything,
but
I'm still pissed off about it. It's like, I don't like missing Yankee games, especially when I have a million apps that I can watch, and for some reason I have to get another one just to watch.
Now one has the
when I'm already paying like $150 subscription on MLB TV just to watch Yankee games, and I can watch a Yankee game. Are you freaking kidding me?
It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. I have the MLB app, but I don't pay for MLB TV because why am I spending $100, like you said, $20 on 1 year? I understand that I want to watch other teams, but I could still check the score at the same time. It's like, but Apple TV, even Mets fans were complaining that Apple TV kept cutting off Alonso's face because these people kept cutting to commercial or whatever it was. So
that's actually helpful.
His face is so ugly they needed to cut it off at the head.
Everyone was like pissed off about Apple TV. They're like, this sucks. The announcers are terrible.
The broadcast.
The announcers
terrible.
It looked good. The 4K camera stuff was awesome.
That was good.
The announcing was it felt like a video. It felt like one of those old 90s video games, very generic. That's a strike. The count is 0-1. That's basically what we were getting.
The announcer sounded like my insurance provider for A-Rod's home run. I mean, my God. It's like, where did they find this guy?
Or the way they said Joey Gallo hit the home run, but Joey Gallo wasn't even on base. It was freaking Gleybor Torres.
Oh,
How do you confuse Gleybor Torres with Joey Gallo? These people, I was like, is this an Apple Music subscription or a baseball game? I was trying to figure out what the hell I was watching.
Is they should have us announce a game, and then we'll see how much better it is. Let us announce it. I'll love to do play-by-play or color commentary instead of what I heard that game in Kansas City.
I'll be Meredith. Bobby's Michael K.
No, Bobby's John Sterling.
Yeah. No,
all the mistakes, right?
I am the John Sterling of podcast hosts.
You absolutely
are.
That's a home run. No, it's a pop-up in the infield. Oh, okay.
I'll make my mistakes.
Where did the ball go? Susan's like, it's because it's a home run. I don't know what's going on. That's Tats. We have an off day tomorrow. We don't.
No, we played today.
Today was supposed to be the off day, but it's the makeup day, right?
Yeah,
I got you.
It's funny. This is funny.
Well, one area where you won't have problems getting access to the best Yankees, and that's right here. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on sportname.com/player, free. Check us out on Northeast Streaming Sports on Roku, free. So get the best in all your Yankee content right here on Pinstripe Chronicles. Wear your pinstripes with pride and play hard.